Good afternoon, Minnesota Twins fans. How are you this fine and lovely day? My name is Seth Stowe of Twins Daily and twinsdaily.com, bringing you another episode of Twins Spotlight. Little different episode today, although we had scheduled this about a week ago. So, things have clearly changed. So our Twins Spotlight for today is actually, maybe an Orioles spotlight with right-handed pitcher Tyler Wells. Obviously, Tyler has been a big part of Twins Daily and different podcasts I've done. In 2018, he was the Twins Daily minor league starting pitcher of the year, just 2 seasons after he was their 15th round draft pick out of Cal State San Bernardino. We've had many articles on him, including in 2018 when he was also the Harmon Killebrew Award winner for community service for some of the things he did off the field in Fort Myers. Now, of course, it's a little different because both he and his good friend Akil Baddoo were taken yesterday in the major league portion of the Rule 5 draft. Tyler sent a nice note here. As you can see on Twitter, he said, "What a ride. Thank you, Twins. Forever grateful for my teammates, coaches, and personnel who have helped mold me along the way. Can't tell you how excited I am to join the Orioles organization. Can't wait to see what's coming. It's been an amazing welcome to Birdland." So with that, let's bring in the Rule 5 pick of the Baltimore Orioles, longtime or not real long-time Twins prospect, Tyler Wells. Tyler, you said, "Can't tell you how excited I am." That was yesterday. How excited are you? This is, it's kind of a bittersweet, but it's a big deal for a player.
Yeah, it's the best way to put it is that it was very bittersweet because of all of the connections that I made through the Twins organization. Obviously, getting to meet a lot of people like you. You guys have helped a tremendous amount of minor leaguers kind of get their name out there and really just kind of help us develop a platform on social media, which is always awesome. So I just want to extend my thank yous out to you guys and everyone on Twitter, Instagram, every social media platform that supported me along the Twins journey. And I can't thank the Twins enough for everything that they've done, the amount of work that they put in to help develop me. And, if it wasn't for all my teammates, coaches, and, like I said, the player personnel, I wouldn't be in the position I am today. And, I'm super excited to join the Orioles organization. I'm excited for the opportunity to really try and, make a difference in another organization. And I'm hoping I made a difference in the Twins organization as well. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, no question. Just a reminder to those listening, we are live right now on Twins Daily Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and you're welcome to participate by leaving a comment, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, and we'll get those and we'll try to answer as many as we can in this amount of time. But let's start again with yesterday, Tyler. I think you're out on the West Coast, or you're in the Western time zone. So, was this something that were you hearing from teams? And we had talked before, and you said you were listening. Was it something you were just kind of hoping to hear your name?
I had heard through the grapevine that there were talks. People were just more or less asking questions about me. I didn't know if it was a serious consideration or not. I know that there's obviously a lot of different, things that can be said on Twitter, on, Instagram, whatever it may be. So those things could have got lost in translation. So, I wasn't expecting it. And that's kind of the best way to put it, because for me, it's always been just trying to keep my head down, not focus on the things that are out of my control. And if it did happen, it happened. Just kind of, I guess the best way to say it, even though it's a great thing and I'm super excited for it, is the best way to put it is just kind of roll with the punches, or really adapt to what is going on. So that's kind of what my mentality was going into it. But I was listening to it because I usually listen to it every year just because I'm always genuinely curious about what's going on in the world. Like I just enjoy knowing what's going on in the baseball world. So, and then whenever I heard the number 3 pick was Akil, I was super pumped and like I started yelling. I was like, let's go. My dad was like, what happened? And I'm like, Akil just got picked. And, so I'm super, super excited for him. And, I'm happy that I was able to kind of share that experience with him as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's do that first. Tell us a little bit about Akil Baddoo behind the scenes. Obviously, from a scouting perspective, I mean, he's got a potential for a power speed combination like few others. Plays center field. But tell us a little bit about the person of Akil Baddoo.
Man, he is the best way to put him is that he's just a character. He is one of those guys that he enjoys being a very vocal guy, loves being the fun guy every time that we're doing something. He's a big hype guy, just loves he's really, really energetic, and he puts off a great vibe for a lot of people. And I think that that's actually a great thing for him because, as time kind of goes on and once he goes to this other organization, I think that he's really going to flourish there because I think that he's going to end up really, being able to express himself. And I think that a lot of guys are really going to like him.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So, it was round 2. Baltimore had made a pick already, and they made 2 picks, and both were pitchers. So did you get some phone calls either from the Twins front office or from the Orioles front office? I mean, obviously not everyone listens to it, so I assume there was some communication with hopefully both sides.
Yeah, so I had talked to my agent the day before saying I was hearing some things through the grapevine, and, we were talking, and, we kind of came to the conclusion that it was like, I haven't pitched in 2 years. I had Tommy John surgery. Obviously, there's an understanding there that, okay, it's a possibility based on the year that I had in 2018, but the likelihood of it kind of seems slim. So, like I said, my expectations weren't very high, and you know what? I was fine with either decision because I understood it from both sides. So my agent ended up texting me that morning right after it started, probably about 20 minutes after it started, saying, you just got picked. And I hadn't got through the first round that I was listening to. I was listening to it on my headphones, and I didn't get through the first round yet. And he texted me saying, you just got picked. And then he immediately called me. And so I was talking to him on the phone. Obviously, extremely exciting moment for me and, my family as well. My dad was super excited. Soon after that, I got a call from Alex Hassan or Hassan. I'm still not 100% sure how to pronounce it. I know that he's going to hate me for it because I think I've had that discussion with him before. But and Jeremy Zoll also reached out. Alex gave me a call, and he was wishing me the best. And Jay-Z also sent me a text and let me know that they're going to miss me and that they wish me nothing but the best in that organization. And there were also quite a few people that reached out in the Twins organization. A lot of people that I worked with coming through the Tommy John process. So a lot of the athletic trainers, some of the strength coaches, physical therapists, and whatnot. So, the best way to put it is it makes you feel good because that whenever those people reach out, you feel like you make a positive impact on those people. And one thing that my dad has always told me is that, it's not always about the performance. It's about how people are going to remember you by, and, it could be a performance thing, but if you're a bad person, then people are just more likely to sit there and not acknowledge what you've done. And so my goal is to always as good of a person to all these people as I possibly can be. And, you know, I'm really happy that I was able to spend some time with them. Soon after, probably like within the hour, I got a call from one of the Orioles personnel. I believe his name was Kevin Buck. He ended up giving me a call, welcoming me to the Orioles organization, and just kind of giving me the rundown of everything and how it's going, asking me how I'm doing and whatnot. And then since then, I've gotten a couple of text messages from some of the athletic training and strength conditioning personnel over at the Orioles, and then also got a couple of calls from the pitching coach and assistant pitching coach there. And you know, so far everything's been awesome. They've been very happy and positive with everything so far. So, I mean, I have absolutely zero complaints, and it just makes me all that more excited and motivated to kind of get out to spring training.
And you think about it, I mean, the Orioles are one of those teams that you guys see a lot in spring training. So you have to assume they're scouts and all of these different things. And it's one of those reminders to all players that even though spring training games are being watched by some people, and you guys play the Rays and you play the Orioles a lot. So, I mean, maybe there's some connection there, or, you know, obviously any game you've pitched, you know, people have been there to watch. So the opportunities are out there.
The funniest thing, I've never even been to the Baltimore Orioles spring training facility. As long as I've been in the organization, and as many times as we've kind of played in that area, and I've never played against or pitched at the Orioles complex, or I also don't think, unless it was one time, I don't think I've ever pitched against the Orioles organization in spring training. So I'm like, I was sitting there, I was like, oh, I don't know anything about the Orioles organization at the time, like as far as their complex or like much of their minor league system, because I never played against them. So it's been a bit of a learning curve as time has kind of gone on, and you know, the past 24 hours, I've done my research. I've gotten to look at a lot of like the different coaches that we've had and a lot of the roster, and try and familiarize myself with a few of these people, and try and get familiar with names early, so that way transitioning to a new team is seamless as possible.
Are there people in the Orioles organization that you're familiar with, maybe friends with from college or you know, California or wherever it happens to be?
So I've actually met Dylan Tate a few times. He's actually friends with Andrew Vasquez, and me and Vasquez also trained together in the 2018 offseason. So Dylan Tate would come through and throw bullpens with our pitching coach and stuff, and you know, so I've got to meet him a few times. He's a great guy. There are quite a few guys in the Orioles organization that have the same agent or agency as me. So they've kind of contacted me about that and told me, you know, that we have some familiar faces in there. Now, the one thing is me and Lachlan Wells I love Lachlan to death. But as soon as I get the call that I'm going to the Orioles, I was like, yes, I get to escape Lachlan Wells, only to get So, but you know, I've talked to both of them before. We've all been on Zoom calls, and I've talked to Alex before too, and I mean, they're all great guys. So a few familiar faces. You know, it's going to be a learning curve, that's for sure. So I'm still going to get used to that, but you know, I'm looking forward to the different environment and really just trying to kind of thrive in an environment that I'm just not familiar with.
Yeah. Well, and that'll take some time, but I mean, at the end of the day, and I know you mentioned, I think on Twitter that you spent hours upon hours last night trying to respond to people. But I mean, ultimately the goal of all of this now is you get a chance at big league spring training, which, you know, may or may not have come with the Twins. You may have gotten an invite, who knows? But now you've got not only a chance to make the team, but you know, the Orioles are in a position where they're still rebuilding, and I think there will be opportunities to make the big league roster. And of course, those listening, the rules of the Rule 5 draft are that Tyler now will have to remain on the 25-man or 26-man active roster throughout the season, or be offered back to the Twins. And I would think the Twins would say, come on back, or else work out a trade. So, I mean, just ultimately getting to big league camp, I mean, that's obviously a goal, and then making the big leagues is pretty cool.
Yeah, so last night I did spend hours upon hours trying to respond to people, from both the Twins fans to teammates, family, friends, everybody that I could. Also trying to get back to Orioles fans and people on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I probably spent like 4.5 hours maybe last night just responding to messages. So it was a long time, but I wanted to really try and show my gratitude towards all those people by really trying to give them a personal message, even if it wasn't long. Like, I'm still forever grateful for those people who have reached out and supported me. But the opportunity, to be in big league camp is obviously something that I've wanted, for a long time, and, something that I've dreamed of. The best way to put it for me and my mentality going in there is, even if it wasn't a team that was rebuilding, my wholehearted goal is to go in there and make a difference and to be as good as I can be and really push myself and really try and earn that spot. But yes, there's a lot of opportunity right now with the Orioles organization, and I really want to go in there and I want to make the difference in the organization, hopefully like I did in the Minnesota Twins organization, and show them that, you guys gave me an opportunity. I got some big shoes to fill, and I'm going to fill them and more. That is what my goal is. That's what my mentality is. I've always kind of had that bulldog mentality of, I don't want to be beat. I don't want to be beat by anybody. And, that's going to be how I am, going into that. But I'm also a person too. I had a phone call with the pitching coach of the Orioles last night. I told him, I'm a guy who asks questions. I do like to talk, if anyone can't tell. And I love to ask questions. I love to learn. And I told him, I'm excited because I get to learn a different pitching philosophy from different pitching coaches, and I really get to kind of mold that into my own. And they could have some great ideas that could work well for me that maybe someone else in the Twins organization maybe quite hasn't got there yet or hasn't thought about it. And, so I'm looking forward to gathering new information to really evolve myself as a player.
So for those of you who aren't aware, Tyler's been on several podcasts with me. Normally when I'm preparing for these Twins spotlights, I have about 10, 12 questions ready. You can't see it here, but I have 2 questions. I figured Tyler would help me get through the half an hour. So anyway, just a quick reminder, again, we're talking with Tyler Wells, former kind of Twins prospect who was a Rule 5 pick just yesterday morning of the Baltimore Orioles. So kind of a whirlwind couple of 24 hours here for him. I want to go back to just ask you the question. You had Tommy John surgery in the first half of 2019, which may have put you back maybe pitching some rehab types of games at the end of a 2020 season, had there been one. So, how has that rehab gone for you over the course of 2020? Obviously, did missing the season completely, do you think, help you in a way to be able to not rush back too quickly?
So the best way to put this is that I think, this is me personally, I think that my Tommy John rehab went about as good as anyone's Tommy John rehab has ever gone. I had very, very few problems. I had very few issues, very little pain, and it went 100% smoothly. So I'm really confident in the way that I feel, the way that my arm feels, kind of going into this upcoming year, and the ability to be able to take the workload. As far as not having a season, I think that 100% helped me because, from a COVID standpoint, if we did have the season, I probably would have rushed back a little bit faster, and I probably would have been pitching in games probably towards, I would say, July, maybe into July, which would have been about the 14-month mark. So it helped me out in the aspect of it allowed me to basically get an extra month or two of recovery and the ability to actually kind of just give me a better opportunity to completely heal and slowly build myself up rather than, a lot of other guys having to rush. I went to my surgeon in September on my way back home. I drove from Florida to Southern California, stopped in Dallas on the way there to see Dr. Meister. And he looked at my elbow and he thought it was 100% perfect. And he thought that everything looked phenomenal. He says that you haven't had any issues going into this. And, he's like, I think that that's a testament to how well the rehab's gone for you. And I think that, in the upcoming years, you're going to be doing just fine. So the words of encouragement were awesome. And it pretty much, it would have been, for the most part, most of the season, I wouldn't have been able to pitch. I probably would have got to pitch a quarter of the season. So I would say that the real difficulties happened after I was done rehabbing and throwing bullpens and stuff like that in August. I think that that's kind of where it happened, because going back to Southern California, it became really hard to kind of get the necessary training in that you needed to stay at peak shape. Finding a gym to get some weights in and stuff like that has been difficult. So I'm actually out here. I took the opportunity. One of the other great guys in the Twins organization, Casey Legamina, I'm coming out here for about 2 weeks to train with him and to get my throwing in and to actually lift some weights. So, I'm taking every opportunity I can to put myself in the best position to succeed, whether that be with the Twins or with the Orioles at this time. So, like I said, it's hard to express my gratitude for a lot of the people who have been there to support me, teammates, their parents, and just everyone around me. It's been phenomenal. So having like-minded people around me and having people who are competitive is actually, pushed me to try and be better than what I was previously.
So let me ask you this: as far as your pitches, are you at a point where you're already throwing all of them, or when spring training starts in hopefully February, are you kind of full go?
Yeah. So my bullpens, before I left, I was making sure I could throw all of my pitches, felt comfortable with all of my pitches, and I could throw everything at full velocity. Didn't lose an ounce of velocity. My bullpens were great, finding the zone with everything. They felt really good. And that was one of my goals before I left to go home, is I wanted to make sure that I could throw everything with zero issues, and I could throw pretty much everything. I knew where everything was going. I was confident in what I was doing.
Sorry, I had to hit unmute. Just some other questions. I mean, LaTroy Hawkins is on the Hall of Fame ballot, and I believe you've got a pretty good relationship with LaTroy. So is Torrey Hunter. So is Michael Kadire. Talk a little bit about, from a Twins perspective, having guys like that not only are part of the quote unquote front office or have, honorary positions, but they're pretty active and involved, aren't they?
Yeah. So LaTroy is, I would say, one of my biggest mentors in the Twins organization, and from a pitching perspective and from a personal responsibility perspective. One of the biggest changes that man has ever made in my life was 2017, whenever I was with Cedar Rapids Colonels. I don't know that a lot of people know this. I mean, I know that you guys have mentioned it before on Twins Daily, but my weight loss. You post, you have some of these pictures of me in the Star Wars uniform, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, dang, I was fat. Like, I was just out of shape. And one of the things that LaTroy Hawkins told me in the outfield one day during BP is, yeah, that picture, oh my God. Ugh. But then you see afterwards, you can just kind of see it in my face how much weight was lost. And one of the things that LaTroy Hawkins told me, he was like, look, man, he's like, you have it, you have the stuff. He's like, but you need to take the responsibility and get your body right. And so, he's been a huge mentor for me. And, I'm, like I said, I'm forever grateful to that guy. I'm grateful for, everyone in the organization. And he really changed my mentality on personal responsibility. And, the new Giants assisting pitching coach, JP Martinez, he was also another guy. That year in 2017, he challenged me to read a book. And I was like, all right, which book do you want? And he goes, here, I'll let you pick. I'll buy it. You buy it. We'll both read it. Then whenever we're done talking about it, we'll sit down and have a conversation. And I was like, okay, cool. So I ended up choosing The Ranger Way by Chris Peranto. He's if anyone's familiar with the name, he was one of the guys in the attacks in Benghazi. 13 Hours is the movie that he was in. And he talks about his way and his difficulties that he had going through in getting prepared for Ranger School, and the things that he went through Ranger School, and how it was just strictly personal responsibility. And you are in one of the Navy SEALs big things that I've heard Jocko Willink talk about is you are responsible for everything, even if it isn't your responsibility. And so a lot of between the book, talking with JP about those things, talking with LaTroy, and really trying to kind of hone in on what was going on, it really changed my perspective on this is really in my control. I can sit there and I can blame outside things as much as I want to, but the fact of the matter is that everything is my responsibility. My decisions are my responsibility. My diet, my training, my effort, things that I can control are my responsibility. And so that off season, my mother also, who's a doctor, she kind of helped me find a diet that worked well for me. And we were working with a nutritionist, and I realized, and I had some blood work done at my mom's doctor's office, trying to figure out what was going on, why I couldn't really I was struggling to lose weight. And part of that was a high insulin resistance. And for anyone who knows anything about it, it basically means that my body didn't activate insulin very well. And so I never got rid of any kind of like carbohydrates and sugars, and my body would store it as fat really easily. So I kind of went on like a carnivore, I guess you can call it keto type approach for a long time and throughout the 2018 season. And from about November of 2017 going into spring training of 2018, I went from about almost 310 pounds to about 255 to 260. And, those guys like LaTroy, JP, they really helped change and mold my mentality to quit crying about it and do something about it. And that's also really applied to this year in 2020 with everyone, COVID, and I know a lot of people are falling under hardships, and it's messed with our minds quite a bit, including myself. So currently, one of the books that I'm reading is "Can't Hurt Me" by David Goggins, and it's a phenomenal book, and I really like kind of what he talks about in the aspect of that. How you react to things is like how you react to the event is really going to end up being the outcome. And that's one of the things that the Twins strength coaches have actually put on the back of their shirts. E plus R equals O. Event plus the reaction equals the outcome. So, I couldn't be more thankful for all of those guys to really kind of help mold that bulldog mentality and personal responsibility, instill it in me.
And I believe Dave Goggins is the guy that you've worked out with in the past with Andrew Vasquez, right?
No, his name's Dave Coggin. But the guy that I'm talking about is David Goggin. And it was funny because I was mentioning that book the other day to my trainer, and he was like, yeah, some dude down the street totally thought I was that guy. But the guy in the book, he talks about how he was, because he's African American, and my coach, he was like, it's like they have the guy on the cover. I don't understand. They get his name mixed up all the time, and they just think it's him. But I think it's really funny because they're both bald, so it's just really funny, and they get mixed up all the time. But no, it's David Goggins. He was a Navy SEAL, or I think he was a retired Navy SEAL, retired as a chief, and then he also, according to the video I've seen, I haven't completed the book just yet. He was also the first guy to ever go through like Army Ranger School and pararescue school for the Air Force, and try and become a tactical air controller. Can't tell. I like military stuff. I kind of ran in my family, so.
Get it. Last few minutes here. Again, if anyone's got any questions for Tyler, please feel free to ask them. I'm guessing we'll have some Orioles fans watching this over time when it's available again on Twins Daily Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. So let's start with just some basics. What pitches do you throw?
Fastball, curveball, slider, changeup.
And what pitches? I mean, control has been part of your game. Which pitches do you feel most comfortable throwing in any count?
So let's see here. In any count, my fastball is like my pitch. That's one of those things that I've done really well with in the past. I feel really comfortable with my slider. Feel really comfortable with my curveball. I'm trying to think. My changeup is something that I've worked really hard on, especially during this Tommy John process. Because that was always kind of my weak point. I always had it, never controlled it very well. So one of the things I really, really worked on is that one of the things I really worked on was controlling it and trying to get the movement that I wanted, and really try and blend it in with my other pitches.
Let me ask you this. I mean, I know you've, in the time with the organization, you and Alex Kirilloff have been teammates quite a bit. The Twins called up 6, 7, 8 guys, even in the shortened season this year. For you, how cool is it to see your friends, your buddies, your former teammates, your potentially future teammates get that call? And is that hearing from them at how cool it is to get that call? Does that get you even more excited about spring training?
Yeah. So Alex actually gave me a call the night that he found out that he was going to the big leagues, and it's unbelievably exciting to see guys like that you're close with really achieving their dreams. Me and Alex have been close for a long time. We were, like I think I've said it many times on here, we've been roommates. Since we first got drafted. Me and him shared a room in E-Town. And so we came up through the system together. I've gotten really close with his family and his wife, and now his daughter, Penelope. I spend a lot of time with them, and I try to be there for him and help him as much as I possibly can. And that's, he does the same thing for me. So the friendship and the bond there is really, really strong. As far as like everyone else goes, I mean, there's so many guys that made their debut this year that I'm having a hard time remembering, because I know Whitefield made his at the very beginning of the year, and oh man, I'm drawing a blank.
Well, I mean, Horn, Jeffers, Kalina. There've been a few.
Yeah, I mean, it's overwhelming, really, because you come up through the system, you see these guys, you know them personally, you spend a lot of time. Like, you all go through the same amount of suck during the minor league season of traveling and staying in the hotels and being away from our loved ones and stuff like that. So you grow a great bond with a lot of these people, and it's extremely satisfying to see them achieve their dreams and be really be a change in the Twins organization, be a pillar in the Twins organization for hopefully many years to come. So, even if they aren't my teammates, I'm always going to enjoy facing them. It's going to be really hard not to just smile at them if they're walking into the box, if we're ever in that position, or, even if I am in the position to where they are my teammates, like I'm always going to support them and I'm always going to be there for them at least as much as I possibly can. So, it warms my heart to see it. And, it makes me unbelievably happy that I'm kind of in the same boat now where I get an opportunity, even if it isn't with the Twins.
And I think, at this point, that's what it's about. You've now got an opportunity, and we'll see how it goes. And, who knows? Maybe you'll be back with the Twins. But obviously, after all these years, I appreciate everything you've done. The honest conversations we've had, all of that kind of stuff, informative, everything. And I hope you take full advantage of that opportunity and you get a chance with the Orioles and you make the best of it. And whether that's as a starter right away or maybe out of the bullpen to start out with, I know you'll give that effort, and I look forward to watching that. And then, like you said, I'm looking forward to a Wells v. Kirilloff matchup someday at Camden Yards or Target Field. That should be a lot of fun because I know I'll be smiling.
I have a video of me facing. It was like some of the best. It was some of the best fastballs I had thrown during spring training in 2018. It was I went up against Royce Lewis, Alex Kirilloff, and Akil Baddoo, and it's like I don't know. I think I got Alex and Royce out. I think I got them to like fly out, and then Akil like hit a freaking double off me off the wall, and I'm like, oh, okay, well. So it's like being able to face them even during spring training is always a lot of fun. I'm still always smiling there. Even if it is in the big leagues against, even Akil, like, it's going to be hard not to just sit there and like smile at each other. Cause that's how me and Akil are too. Like we see each other, like, I know the next time that we see each other, we're going to be sitting there and we're just going to be smiling and laughing like at the situation that we're in now. And, it's going to be the same way with AK and Royce. It's going to be the same thing with Travis and all those guys. So I'm really looking forward to it. And, I'm really hoping that I can, be there and, face these guys or even support them, sometime soon.
Well, very good. I appreciate you for doing that, and we will certainly. I'll be bugging you even with your time with the Orioles. So, thanks again for doing this, and again, thanks for everyone for listening. I appreciate that. This will be available on those Twins Daily social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Going forward, just search for that. Want to thank everyone for listening, and also it'll be on the Twins Daily podcast, which I'll upload here shortly. So, thank you, Tyler.
Yeah.
For listening. Have yourselves a great night, a great day, and go enjoy your off season.
Hey, you know what? Right now it's the best time to lock in. So you guys have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And always here if you need me or you even just want to talk. I'm here. So
I'll bug you. So with that, thanks again, and everyone have a great day.
All right, you too.
Go Twins.